Long gone are the days when your parents would tell you that you wouldn't earn a cent playing video games. This competition is testament to that. Can he get it? Yes, he can!
A dominant tournament, a dominant grand final.
G'day everyone and welcome back to the Rise of Valour, the official Road to First Strike presented to you by Fortress Melbourne and powered by Alienware. Of course, myself and Smash over here are coming to you guys from Fortress Melbourne. We are currently in the streamer pods and we are getting to the very near closure of this series of today. You know, we've had our 2 best of 3s already. We're 1 map down in our final best of 3 for the night. And I mean, like, by the way that it's going, it could technically be done quite quickly. We don't want that. Don't get me wrong.
No.
We love the long games, don't we?
Yeah, well, it could all be over so fast as well in 2-0, 2-0. And there hasn't been super close games either. There have been lots of 13-4s, 13-5s around there. I think the most rounds we've seen is like 7 or 8 maybe out of our last series. But going back to the series that we are at hand, Momentum Based versus Gravitas, we saw some life in the side of Momentum Based. It was good signs, but they only managed to get themselves up to those 4 rounds early on. And then Gravitas kind of took control of the game and went on an absolute tear and secured themselves through that first map. In thanks largely to just being patient and playing off retakes with nods.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that is a kind of, I guess, a weird statement to say about this game is I don't feel like we saw anything, you know, super wrong and super, you know, out of the ordinary, I guess, from Momentum Base. You know, they were giving every round their all. They were trying to counterplay around it and, you know, a mix of fast plays and slow plays and what have you. But it was just like Gravitas were really in for the retakes and they capitalized upon all of their utility and everything. You know, we touch upon it. All of these rounds, they really came down to the wire in terms of the time, in terms of the players alive, and just all of those clutch plays to come on through. I guess maybe disregarding the amount of rounds that we saw, you know, 4 players alive and everything, because we said that a couple of times, but the real depth in towards that map number 1 was that, you know, whilst Gravitas won 13-4, it was only because, you know, not by lack of momentum-based plays.
Certainly wasn't. Certainly proved they can hang with the best momentum-based. Early aggression on towards this alongside of the map. It is going to be Gravitas on the offense to start us off, and eventually there's going to be an absolute fracas in here, and Gravitas are coming up with all the cards. 3-for-1 trade on the offensive pistol. You'll take that every day of the week. The shock dart coming through. Nos goes down. Crazed has the lineups, and all of a sudden, Marsh has a lot of work to do. Utility to do it. Some really nice positions here from Gravitas.
100% the recon ball goes through and it does make Marsh's name go towards its intended target. However, Marsh is now the last one alive in a 1 versus 2. You don't just want to see ambition be getting the better of Gravitas, but Spikes, I mean, a little bit ambitious to jump up on top of the site, but nevertheless, the kill is found in the end, and a pretty quick pistol, all things considered. We didn't even really get to break down where we were going or anything. Of course, for those joining, if you're not knowing, we are on Bind. This is here the map pick of Gravitas. The first one in Haven was the pick of Momentum Based. So that's why we see Gravitas starting on this attacking side. And, you know, usually if things align, they pick a map because they feel stronger on it. And if we saw, you know, a 13-4, are we going to see more strength from Gravitas here?
The dink comes out. Clutch actually goes down very early, so advantage on the side of Momentum Based, but they're not able to retake that rifle. Now into the firing line. Spikes and Moles can be on for plenty of action. Marsh actually gets Nerox as well. That might be a reclaimed rifle or SMG. Obviously, with the Bulldog, does manage to get one back. So it's a 3v3 situation. Momentum Based doing some good aggression and good scouting to get some early rounds, but haven't been able to secure too much off it.
Just looking to go through the tube. Crazed very lucky to still stay alive in this current situation. There's a flank coming through eventually from Momentum Based in the short bay area. Kotsky dashes through and is met with Craze. Does get traded out. Now it's just down to Travis. Looking around boat. As, you know, only play out for Momentum Based.
One enemy remaining.
Nos has just got to swing on through and find it. It's all going to be down to Marsh. And whilst we do go into this retake, I do have a little bit of a statement that I have noticed. This is the first time Clutchy has actually played Raze. Like, this is the first time Gravitas have changed up their roster pool of agents in this whole tournament.
Well, if you got something new, you might as well bring it out now, Marsh. 1v2
Oh,
timing. Oh, Noz finds the right timing and Marsh goes down. Noz on a Omen is not a bit of a throwback, but odd. Usually he's been playing those flash characters like Breach. Before that, played a lot of Brimstone as well, so smoke expertise.
Yeah, it's always just a weird thing, like, when you change up your agent pool, are you well versed in those new agents in this sort of architecture, you know, in this competitive environment? Because ranked, you know, is completely different. Scrims are completely different to where we are right now in a complete officials. So it is interesting to me how, you know, why they have changed up.
Change here is that the buy from Gravitas is quite rubbish, actually. They've got a lot of pistols and SMGs and shotguns and all sorts as Archie double packs his mate with flies on through. Get good positioning into Lamp. Won't manage to find the first. It's going to be a nice plan without starting by retake Master in a decent position to find one unaware. Nerox goes down and the HP is low on a few of these members. Spikes with the Bulldog finds Travis.
Great shot.
Sheriff.
No!
It's all falling apart from Momentum Base, who invested heavily into this round. All of a sudden, they're on the big back foot. Little Jeff comes out. The sprays will steal Farpoy's fate, and that is a very good round to win if you are on the side of Gravitas.
We talk about the weaponry kind of looking in all sorts for Gravitas, but they make it work, don't they? The Judge got a bunch of damage over onto the Jet. We saw Cloxy on the Jet 4. Gravitas pick up a headshot with the Sheriff in that kill feed, and everything else just kind of fell in line for Gravitas. The neural theft to put the nails in the coffin for Fartboy. Just a really fleshed out round for Gravitas that works wonders. They don't really even have to reach in towards their pockets to get the weapons into this round because they survived with 4. They upgraded everything that they needed to in the previous one. So definitely a round that Gravitas will be laughing at on the outcome, and Momentum Base, they will be quite concerned, I guess, coming into this fresh round where now they've already lost a player.
Yeah, there was barely any financial risk for Gravitas as they were willing to almost give that round up in favor of having a strong economy going forward, but end up cleaning the round up, so the bonus buy well and truly in effect there. And as you mentioned, they found the first into this next one as well. Could be on for a 4-0 start, which is quite daunting.
Especially on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Especially on the offensive side for Gravitas here on Bind, you know, it's kind of reminiscent of just ExoClan in their prime on this map before Order. It took them off it because they had that 100% win rate, and it was a very close game, if I'm not mistaken. It went to overtime, I think. I'm just trying to remember when they did lose it out. But yeah, no, Gravitas off to a really great start right now. It is ultimately just the pistols that we still do see for Momentum Base in this round, but don't count the pistols out. I mean, we've seen more done with less. Being able to go in for the retake. This has found one. Foxy, very peak right now to go in for it. His second, that's a really good reallocation to the head for Travis. 17 HP. Foxy finds Fartboy as well. So this round should be cemented in for Gravitas. Quite fine.
Fantastic shots though to do it with. Not the easiest shots, those really close angles to just your crosshair. Big smart. Clean headshots too. No matter how much HP they're all going in the bin anyway. Momentum Base now, an opportunity to buy up into the round, and Travis just has to decide whether the operator is the plate or if they'll stick to the rifle. Looks like a rifle by the credits they have. Might even just
Travis
save
is
in.
just gonna keep with the Ghost or something and go on the Blade Storm. I mean, the Phantom does come out, so maybe we'll use it a little bit later on if they do find them open up, potentially Travis will dash through. But dearie me, it's shots and Gravitas that capitalize. I'm not gonna say tenfold, but they certainly do look to do that. It's 2 versus 4. Momentum Base just seemingly getting just caught off guard, I think is the word to use right now. They're going into these engagements, and Gravitas have the numbers or they have the right counter utility. It is just looking really well placed out for them so far.
Spike planted. One
A little bit of an unforced error there with Clutchy through Booker as well very quickly, including 3 for the round. And that's a rifle round. That's the round that's supposed to be close and start to swing momentum into momentum-based favor. But again, Gravitas just closing the door, not letting them have any opportunity, any sort of misplay, any sort of mistake. It's just punished.
Yeah, it's 5 unanswered rounds as well. Bar, I guess. Has there been a round so far where there's like 1 player alive for Gravitas?
Yeah, I think there might have been one.
Maybe
one or two
one,
players
but
surviving in
even
some
then,
stages, yeah.
you know, 90% or whatever it is, 87%, you know, it's just completely in the favor of Gravitas right now. Is where we're getting at, and I don't even know. I can't even pinpoint what the fault of momentum based is still. You know, they're going in for these duels and everything. It's just Gravitas giving them heads.
I think Marsh could be key.
What are you doing, Marsh? No!
Marsh!
Oh,
Get out of
you
there!
hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Unfortunate for Marsh. This is another unforced error, and with Pumpy trapped in a cage, that's going to seal a 2-player advantage and some special aerial acrobatics for clutching. Oh, no, run.
It's always the thing, isn't it? When you hear that rocket, you just want to leave. You just want to head for the hills right now. Clutchy is tucking the corner to swing out. The blade missed, and that's all the damage that we need to see from Clutchy in the round. Hunter's Fury to come on through. Life momentum base. Now that's all she or Craze last life will get some damage off at the end, but it's only the ghost, the reveal comes on through and swings before the reveal of the bolt. That is 6 rounds for Gravitas, yet to be met with 1 by momentum base. But is this going to be the time now, Smash, when they get their rifles up? Are they going to be able to fight back?
Absolutely. I'll back them in here. I'll go out on a limb and I'll back them in for 1 here. They have Rolling Thunder available. Always be great for the retake. We saw how potent it was for Gravitas last map. Maybe they've figured something out inside of momentum based. Just need to cut out these unforced errors and
caution here.
down to
Caution
basics.
here.
I reckon.
We can go back down to the basics and how to play. Like, the problem is, what basic do you throw at Gravitas right now? I feel we do have a little bit of a pause right now, folks, for those wondering why you know, we might not be seeing those shields raised or the clock moving. I do feel though, and I pose the question, like, what do momentum based look to fall back on? Do they exercise a little bit of a pug style variety right now in this round? Do they do something that is just so uncharacteristic that Gravitas won't know what hit them?
Maybe. I don't know. I think that the basics could be just going in for these trades and stacking 2 so you can always get that trade. They haven't been playing too aggressively. They haven't been playing too passively. It's just kind of been in this middle ground so far. They could always stack. Try something different there. It does look like it's a 3-2 stack. Yeah,
This is a nice spot.
really rinky-dink camera from Pumpy. Pumpy's been
Right.
good.
If we can't see it, no one can. Don't worry.
1%. Pumpy was good in the first map, but hasn't troubled the scorers just yet in map number 2. And doesn't mean any superstars yet from momentum base, but they all have that star potential. Wouldn't have made it this far if they didn't.
Nah, you're exactly correct. In that state there, we you know, have progressed through the open stage, we've progressed through the quals and everything, in through the Swiss, now into the groups, the double Elium groups, and then eventually we get into the top 8 for the first strike. So everybody's really trying to prove their worth, and now it's just have win out half in finding this round right now. Clutchy will skip and jump. The blast packs on through. It has been revealed, but there's no plant just yet. They haven't needed to just yet. Eventually they will, but they've already lost a member, remember. So momentum base are kind of in a bit of a favor right now. Rolling Thunder for the retake. They're going to use it.
Found them.
Hold on it. Said that the Rolling Thunder could be the key here, and it might just have to be Crazed. Does miss the timing of finding a few players, in fact, as Nerox claims the heavy position. It's Pumpy time. 2v4 retake. Will they even invest the Rolling Thunder? They might be hesitant to now with another advantage. A fantastic shot from Pumpy to try and even things out, but Spike's answer back. Pumpy time. Not the time that it is now, as Cloxy takes him down. And 7-0 start for Gravitas. Boy, oh boy. This is
They have
be,
got to be, you know, really reaping in the fact that they did their work. They went through a little bit of the hard waters in Ascent in those first few rounds, and then they took it from there. The best thing I feel for Gravitas's sense of mind right now is that they took over that momentum from map 1 to map number 2, and they've done it extramentally so. Like look at it, it's to the extreme.
Certainly is. How far can Gravitas push this streak, though? That's the question. I don't know. 7, 8 rounds, perhaps. 9. Is that a pipe dream? Who knows?
I'm gonna say 13-0 to cast a curse it.
I'll pay that. Not a bad shout. Clutchy. Resting through. Spam refining the player.
That's rude.
It's rude. It is just, it's so momentum based, actually. It's just so unfortunate and unexpected, really. But Clutchy,
They've been dealt the wrong hand.
they certainly have. You mentioned it was first game this tournament for Clutchy on Raze. And
Yeah.
you wonder why they haven't brought it out sooner. With a showing like this.
You always gotta hide your true colors until you need to bring it out, right? Like we've seen it in the past by the likes of Team Launch when they hit all their factors before they get to the Viper.
Travi.
When Iron was on the Viper, you didn't see it until it needed to come out, right? So I feel like that's maybe what Gravitas have done now, feeling like it could have been the other way. But really good shots to come out from Travis, as you say, and some missed shots out from March. But in the end, we have Caster Cursor. I said 13-0.
30
This could be
seconds
the round
left.
for momentum.
You've absolutely done it, unless the Noz tank pulls off one for the ages. Not quite sure if their location is known. I don't think so. So first door is open. Won't manage to stick it. Crazed takes out Noz. He's sucked into the nether, and that will be the first round on the board for momentum based. Off some heroics from Travis, actually, on the lamps with the Phantom. Gets themselves a triple.
Do you feel like they need 5 right now to make it a quote comfortable half? I think 4 might be not enough, to be honest. From what we've seen from Gravitas, slow plays, aggression, unansweredness from momentum base, I honestly think that they'll need the 5 here.
I definitely think they need to string the last 3 rounds together in a row just to give them that momentum, give them that confidence to go into the second half. If they lose this one and then come back, it's not the biggest deal. It will be, what, an 8-4 half. It's not too bad, but I definitely feel like they need to get the last 2 or 3 rounds of the half just to give them that confidence to go through, because these games can be quite emotionally charged, I guess.
This camera is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Just have to point that out. Like, you'll never, unless that camera says hello.
Hello there.
You probably won't ever expect like a camera to be completely up there. Oh no, it's very seeable actually. Seeing it from Cloxy's point of view now. Speaking of Cloxy's POV, yeah, there you go. See.
Super check.
I was gonna say, speaking of Cloxy's POV, he heard the spray come through over at Elbow. Now that Cloxy brings out the rocket, it does miss. It provides Cloxy the opportunity to walk in towards Elbow. Rolling Thunder comes down, Cloxy loses life. Cloxy will manage to find Farboy. Has to be careful into where the remainder of the momentum-based squadron are over on this B site. Great plays from Cloxy on the Jet, and this is why I do agree with what Plick says. Jet over Reyna if you have to pick between one of those two on this map. Noz doesn't find Marsh, and Cloxy wastes the right click, but shots will reveal Craze's location, and well, Craze is going to get punished on through by the shock dart. The second one is going to miss, but time is just being bought right now by Gravitas.
It definitely was an opportunity the momentum base could have taken, but with the dart in your shoulder, Crazed goes down. This just some heroics from individual players mean that Gravitas is able to secure 8. And now you feel like momentum base need to win the half out in order to be given a fighting chance to go through. 7 in a row from Gravitas really broke the back, you'd say, of momentum based, but with time comes opportunity, especially with some of these ultimates on the board.
Yeah, momentum base really needs to try and contain everything in this round. Use these ultimate abilities to their utmost potential. Gather all the info from Marshes on the shadows. Use the neural theft to reveal the location. And things come in towards a retake potentially right now for momentum base. You know, you could even maybe just see them give over a site and go for a retake. They don't have the best weaponry, so we'll look to just hold the close corners right now as Marshes revealed out, and TP's into the open. Clutchy will find the big where Gravitas to extend out, clear all the angles. I love the momentum from Clutchy. Will be stunned on through, but as it fades, it's now looking for the plant.
It had that shower's position, so all of a sudden Clutchy is activated for the second, the third of the round. It was a 360 in fact, so All the paint shells out, so couldn't get the fourth, but did the full 360, the world tour. That's Gravitas with 9 now, stacking up real high in the first half.
9 rounds on the offensive side of a bind is certainly something to behold. They technically are on track to find the 10th right now, and I mean, if you're momentum based, you can't just be throwing a little bit of a rock on that track. You need to throw a boulder right now because Gravitas, they are just activated.
I certainly need to find the brakes.
Okay.
I want to stop Gravitas pressing through and really running through momentum base. Once more, trying to clear out. Oh God, Pumpy! Just sat Punchy right down.
Good
Might
night,
think twice
sweet
about picking that.
prince. Oh, the shoulder's been revealed twice now, maybe to fall as well by all the damage coming on through. As Fartboy does manage to find Spike, so things are going for momentum base. There's the neural theft to gather all of the remaining players' locations. The biggest thing is the Spike is down on short, and this is just where the funneling and the grouping up of momentum base will most likely happen. The camera from Pumpy to tag someone if they do get seen, you would expect, but the line of sight that they will be provided with, they can swing out in towards the short sands and maybe deny the Spike from being picked up. Will be found. The recon bolt comes on through, destroyed instantly. No one to capitalize on that fact, and there's no one at A site right now. Smash. There is nobody home.
There's no aggression from momentum base to really keep.
Do you fake
Gravitas
TP
in
here?
I think the idea may be for Cloxy to fake TP.
Not Cloxy. Omen.
Oh, it could do.
30
Omen
seconds
shrouds it.
left.
I think though it would be heard by Marsh's location by the audible positioning. If Reach was elbow, it definitely would have been heard. But yeah, now we are going into B site. 20 seconds to go. Cloxy's been afforded elbow. They need to get the plant. Marsh is still in hookah. He'll jump out now as Cloxy finds Fartboy.
Spike planted.
Mike's down.
Little to clear out that elbow position for the defenders. Unable to be done. Noz now stuck in the tube.
They're going to check in from behind.
Maybe not. They do.
Oh,
Turns on a
Travis!
diamond, takes out Travis, which is going to open the round. Cloxy with the 3rd in the round. Marsh answers back, but it's going to be Nerox to seal the deal.
They
And
had
that's 10 on
everything.
the board.
Momentum base had everything in that round. They had the positioning, they had the read, they had the opening 2 picks, they had the spike, but I feel like they gave Gravitas control of long. That's the biggest thing that momentum base did in that round, I feel. They gave Gravitas control, allowed Cloxy to just pivot through the site, dash in towards elbow, and then just hold. That was it. As soon as the Gravitas got the spike down, because they smoked off hookah. Noz smoked CT and hookah, dissecting the site, and then everybody just funneled in and did what they need to. Oh my lord. That was, big brain.
It's a great work from Gravitas to salvage the round, but at the same time you feel what could have been... Clutchy's actually just walked up short.
Satchel out.
Oh, the timing and just the unfortunate positioning at the moment. Travis does end up getting the kill onto Clutchy, which opens up the round. The Hunter's Fury does come out. Nerox will take down Marsh with that. Noz will now throw the smoke out. As the paranoia to the blind of Travis. Does miss over the right click from Cloxy. Quick enough to get it done. The second right click from Cloxy. That's crazed in the bin. How far do you want to push it if you're Cloxy here? Do you feel like wandering into the smoke?
Surely.
9 rounds up. Confidence is flowing. Now has the information thanks to spikes going down.
All I'm
There's
saying-
Remaining.
There it is.
Punishments on the right click in the end. Able to escape with 2, getting away with murder. Now Pumping is to do the exact same thing. 150 HP afforded, but a 1 versus 2, you've got the location of 1. Don't get forced into the teleporter. You're so close. 5 HP. The sprays come through. Noz will seal the deal. Sign on the dotted line, and Gravitas have 11 to momentum-based 1.
Switching sides.
Yeah, that's a half you're happy with if you Gravitas, especially on that pick.
100%.
Just absolute domination from Gravitas on the offense. And a pistol round could pretty much seal the deal here. Cloxy dropping 20 and a half. That is something to write home about.
Oh, it's all going to come down to this pistol round here, Smash, because if Gravitas find it, that means that they'll have the affordance of better weapons than momentum base in the next round, and maybe we do see 13-1, which would be just really gut-wrenching for momentum based. I did say that this is Gravitas's map pick, so they'd have a more favorability stance, more comfortable stance in picking it. But I did also say, how can you get better than 13-4 than map 1? Well, this is how.
minor miracle needed, especially as Clutch has opened up proceedings already. Pumpy enters back. Around here, surely no. Crazed answers back with 2. So here we go. Pumpy on the charge as well. Has managed to get some cages down, some position for the
Spike
post plan.
planted.
2v4. Liking what I'm seeing here, Dion.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a Sova and a Cypher. Don't count them out. We know how capable they are. There's just no utility to put on towards that Spike to get
One
deep.
enemy
Spike
remaining.
doesn't have a cage. We now relieve Spikes of the head, and Narox, whilst finding the trade, is down to 37. Now 19, getting tapped away. Ahana steal it. This is momentum-based. It's pistol round right now. But are they going to be able to hold down the anti-aggression from Gravitas? I think at a circumstance, you know, we could see Gravitas forced in the next round. They don't need to. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Don't slip up, because momentum-based, you know, even though it's 10 rounds the difference, now 9, they can crawl back.
It will be a crawl. It will be step by step. As you mentioned, every round needs to be won, essentially. So it is just a case of playing the percentages and really working out where they can afford to invest and what they can afford to invest in. I have a feeling that they'll try and throw the kitchen sink at it.
Just throw the fridge at it. It's bigger right now.
That certainly is the truth. Kitchen sink is not that big, actually. It is a bigger one.
Alrighty, momentum-based. One step
Okay.
at a time. Archie, gonna throw the boom bot in through towards Hookah. The Shorty's been brought out as well. It's always an interesting bank to hold through, but it's not going to find anything at that distance. Love watching it though, just to jump on through and the tap. I do respect though that it's the
Spike
Viper
planted.
skin.
Yeah,
So Clutchy has like gone to level 10 on Viper.
Definitely well respected. Although the Viper players, I haven't seen the Viper players come out so far, as this round is
I've played on
quite
Viper.
one very expected result. You know, Spikes just trying to find any sort of over-aggressive peeker. Won't find much. Now the aggression starts coming very well, because they need to kind of die out as Travis in the lamps.
One
Got
enemy
one with the judge,
remaining.
the second with the judge comes through. Spike manages to get far away, but left alive and alone in this world with the taken from behind or not.
You know what the biggest thing could have been as well? If you're momentum based, let them leave. Don't force the hunt, because they'd only get 1,000 credits in losing when that spike explodes. You know they probably have to go into the spike explosion to just make sure that they get the full lost credits. It's like, you know, maybe we don't go for the hunt to get some extra money in our back pockets. Let them have less in the next round. And speaking of the next round, look at this purchase from both teams.
Oh wow, Momentum Based are not investing into this round. This is a risky strategy. If they lose this one, it will be match point and a lot of them.
Elimination point.
Elimination point, yeah, that's it. Maybe.
Yeah.
So this is risky business. Definitely.
Well, as I say, risky for the biscuit. Momentum base.
Oh, yeah,
Don't let that cookie crumble right now. You've gotten 2 rounds. Try to get some bread. Let's go. In towards the B site. The explosion from Gravitas. Smokes on through. Out through towards...
this
Sorry,
is
I'm even lying. Momentum base. Gravitas need to contain it as the spikes does go in towards Hookah, but no one's going to be flanking here. Everybody on momentum base is around through long and elbow.
the elbow position is quite powerful. I don't know if it's this powerful enough to invest in there. Foxy is 1, 2, 3 times. Foxy on
player
fire.
remaining.
Fourth claim by Spikes, and this is disastrous round for the side of Momentum Based.
We crushed them.
That's 12 for Gravitas. Any slip up now,
Match
and
point.
this will be done. To be honest with you, it's you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of, you know, at the same point, we understand, looking at this from the observational point of view, why Momentum Base didn't force up in the previous round, because they couldn't get complete weaponry, right? They didn't have the full money. They carried over things. They would have carried over shields fully from some people. They don't want to just ditch those weapons. They take a hit in the previous one where, you know, when you're this far down, I probably would have liked to see them force up, but understand why they didn't.
Yeah, there's arguments for both sides of the
Bomb buddy out.
coin. Clutchy. Now Foxy going for some aggression. This is kind of what I wanted to see. Is if we can get some early picks. It's a 2-for-2 trade. That favors the attackers, you'd say, if they slow down the round. Farboy wheels around on Noz. And this is more what you want to see from the side of Momentum Base. This is what they needed. Get themselves into these opportunities.
Last player
Defense,
standing.
Nero's taking the TP will come through.
Rolling
Halfway.
Thunder.
Answers it out. Yeah, this is Rolling Thunder now activated. It'd
And
be
even
so rough if Clutchy wins this.
yeah, even though Momentum Base are in the lead right now in terms of the players alive, Clutchy's still here, and it's a 1 versus 2. You know, if it was 1 versus 3, we'd be saying a different story, but it's a 1 versus 2, so it's a workable circumstance for Clutchy. As soon as that spike goes down, Clutchy will rotate over here. It's the positioning from Momentum Base that I am going to be careful from seeing. They hit a TP.
Spike
Know where
planted.
Clutchy is. As a judge,
Judge,
so
yeah,
probably the
this
blast
changes
back down
things a
and then to get on the cross. But the info to be seen, there's not a second one, good sir. Shots from elbow. Will be knowing of such. Has to go for the kills before trying to just attempt a defuse. So spike planted in the open. Definitely a tall order to be seen from Clutchy right now. Probably just has to storm in towards their location. The paranoia will get Clutchy in the end. Love the movement. Oh, if the first shot was a kill, I probably would have lost it. But Marsh finds it, and that is a round set in stone for Momentum Base.
It could have been death from above. Enemy AC 130 above. Need to see it if that did come about, but for Momentum Base, they get around and they maintain 2 rifles. They are going to have 5 into the next round, but the credits on the side of Gravitas are nice. So it is going to be even rifle round, and I feel like Momentum Base, they got the better of the trades that time, but how many times is that going to come through?
Any slip-ups, mate? Any slip-ups from Momentum Base, and we could say a goodbye. Good night. Tune in tomorrow. Cheer on all the teams trying to fight for victory to get into first strike.
Not sure if this position from Spikes will be checked. They're giving up Hooker 3. This position from Spikes might come big if it doesn't get checked by this drone, and the dark cover actually might just probably more. Foxy.
Foxy will
Yeah,
fall
hold
back,
that
and the
shout out.
footsteps would have been heard then as well from the
Yeah.
Cypher. So that's info over on the side for Momentum Base as Spikes finds Farboy. Foxy jumping on through. Hasn't seen Pumpy just yet. Could have his head ripped off. Nope. Gonna be missing, but you take for what it is. Look to hide away. He destroyed his the Hunter's Fury as well. Clutchy knows finding kills. I think we might have to call it unless we see a miracle. From the Venom base call on the back of Marshman. Folks, there you have it. 13-4. A repeat on map number 1.
Yeah, this time felt far more dominant from Gravitas, though. The first map, you felt like Momentum Based were ready to come back at any moment's notice and get right back into it. But this time, it was Gravitas on their map pick, sealing it out. Easy peasy as you like. Fantastic showing from them. So they'll be excited to progress forward into tomorrow and into the future. I really like the way the Cloxy was playing on the Jet, though. Really rapid movement. Definitely big for the multi-kills. Really backed themselves in their ability.
And Clutchy as well, you know, the movement that we saw come out from Clutchy on the Omen on the Raze, specifically on map number 2. I was maybe a little bit skeptical coming into it for the change up of Gravitas's lineup in Agents. But hey, if it works out like that and you find a stellar result there, keep on going with it, guys. You've got a lot to continue on, but, you know, they are progressing on through. That was an elimination match, not a qualification match. So those will be played tomorrow as, you know, now Gravitas are going to be playing against can you remember who they're going to play
It's not
against?
Wildcard. It's not.
Just trying to remember which group that they
It's a
are
Group C,
in.
right? Yeah, this is Group C.
Yeah, so that is against, I'll just bring it up real
here we go.
quick.
This is real good of us,
The
isn't it?
loser of Fun Crew and Avant, which is
Avant.
being played right
Yep,
now.
that's
So
it.
guys, before we wrap up, today is actually the last day of the stream here on the Fortress Tavern stream. Tomorrow's games will all be played on the Fortress Melb stream. So make sure you go and check that one out, as well as all of the First Strike. That'll be on the same channel.
Yeah, certainly will be. And if you haven't got tickets, we've been spruiking it all day. It's going to be so good. The watch party for the 5th and 6th of December, the doors will open around about 4 p.m. You can get your tickets. There'll be a link in the chat. Get on it. First come, first serve. So there's about 80, 85 of those tickets ready to go. You get your meal, you get a cocktail, and you get in for $40. It's going to be an absolute cracker deal.
Indeed. I'll, of course, try to get down here for that and say hi to everybody and watch these games. But, guys, of course, don't forget to vote for your MVP. I know who my MVP of today will be. If we got two, maybe I know who both of them will be as well. But make sure you check out Fortress Melb on Twitter, on Instagram to cast your vote. The winner, of course, of the MVP will be finding themselves with extra $200 cash that will be announced next time as well.
Yeah, it's been a great day, and we're going to have to sign off, though. It's been a quick one, but a good one at the same time. So thank you to everyone at home for watching. Thank you to Fortress and Alienware for putting it on. Thank you for Valorant for being a thing. And